rehearsed this. Matt.
I'm sorry.
We really don't have. Well, we are missing many of our better halves here. Unfortunately, due to weather conditions, we don't have our Prompto with us. Who else is fancy? Our Tread Furia from Kingsglaive, Max Middleman. So you just have Noctis and Cor.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I'm no Max Middleman. I never moved.
We're really excited to be here, and this is a free Q&A panel. I mean, I don't know. Did you prepare a speech?
Not a speech, but I figure we can kick it off with a little story of kind of our background with Final Fantasy. And
That's a good idea. You've done this before.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, Final Fantasy. I mean, shit, is most of my gaming childhood. You know, I began my first real video game RPG experience with Dragon Warrior as the first Final Fantasy for the Nintendo. Back when I didn't know how to pronounce things properly, I pronounced it Ogres, Agres, and just messed up with like 7. But yeah, it's been such a big franchise of both of our lives growing up, and even just like dabble in bits. Like I've done a couple of other like Final Fantasy side projects before. Like I did a Chocobo Dungeon for the Wii once, and I was like, wow. It's technically Final Fantasy. It wasn't, but you know.
And you were in Type Zero.
In Type Zero, which was like one step closer to like legitimate mainstream numerical
numbered one.
Final Fantasy. So having the opportunity to be part of this one was awesome. And made more awesome because before I knew I was a part of it, I knew you were a part of it. So I got to work with like you and Robbie and all those guys who were already part of it. This I did. The audition came out 2 years ago for Project Black, and I had the callbacks, and then I found out that I had gotten the part. And I had looked up to my friend Matt Mercer. We were at the same agency. And I wanted to talk to you about what the heck to do. And so I said, hey, I got cast in this thing. It's called Project Black, but it's Final Fantasy 15. Can you help me with it? And Matt was like, yeah, dude, you're going to be doing conventions and stuff. This is awesome. This is the start of a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was right. Here I am in Milwaukee. It's amazing. Matt's been incredible. You've been such a good mentor to me over the years, teaching me about how to be cool, basically.
A topic that I know absolutely nothing about.
But what makes you cool? It's been really cool, and we've been doing it for 2 years. And this week we just passed each other in the halls. Maybe
we did.
Working on it. We've got some DLC coming out, so I look forward to that.
Yeah.
And for me, for my Final Fantasy story, it's really weird because I only played Legends 1, 2, and 3, and Final Fantasy Adventure for Game Boy, which are all not actual Final Fantasy games at all. There's reskin versions of Saga series, and don't count at all. And I thought I had played it. I thought I was like, oh yeah, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. And then I found out, there's these numbers later on. And so when I showed up for the first day for episode Dusk Sky, and they had all this terminology. That one, there was a lot of stuff that ended up being put into the game and not into the demo. But we recorded it then about eidolons and summons and things like that. And I didn't know what they were, how to pronounce them, and I must have looked like an idiot. So I went home that night and I bought the first 6 and I started playing them, and I got through all 14 games. In the 2-year period while I was working on it. Haven't played Type Zero, and it was awesome. Being able to play them in chronological order is so cool. Being able to see how the series transforms with every single iteration is just so cool to discover that every single time, and to track the people behind it, track the directors. The Kitases and the composers when it goes to Onazu from Uematsu. It's really cool. Yeah, he's the best. I don't know, Shimomura though.
Shimomura's really good too.
She did a really good job with this one. So yeah, I'm really grateful to be a part of this, and in the world of, which we're both in, right? Square's been great. They've been pumping out some really, really good games this year, and I think we have a lot to look forward to next year too.
Kingdom Hearts thing just came out, didn't it?
Right, we're in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Of course. I will tell you this, we have a problem, Matt, you and I, we sound very similar a lot of the times, especially when if I do a deeper voice, like my Matt Mercer impression. It's tough. And for Master of Masters, you had already recorded first. And I went in later, and we were still figuring out the voice. And the first scene is you and me talking. The first scene that we recorded just against each other. And it doesn't help that Master doesn't have a mouth, so it's hard to tell whether the character is working or not. And I was right on the edge of being recast because I sounded too close to you.
No shit.
Yeah, it was really scary. It was
I'm
really
sorry.
scary. No, it worked out.
You went square, and they're like,
oh my gosh, the recasting for Noctis.
You should be talking about that, by the way. This was Matt. By the way, like Noctis, when he came to me and told me like Final Fantasy, this is like the first big thing coming. Then it was also they're possibly thinking of recasting.
Do you have any advice?
Yeah. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was really scared. Yeah, so we did when we did Dusky, we did 2 voices. Because we didn't know exactly how Noct was going to be. There wasn't a lot that we knew about him back then, and especially in Dusky, he doesn't say anything other than the money. That's really like his only line. So we did 2 kinds of voices. We did a younger one, and then we did an older, more badass sound. And we went with the badass sound for it. We recorded about half the dialogue in the younger voice too. And we ended up doing that. Then it came out. Reception was mixed. And then Tabata-san wasn't able to get his word in because it was kind of rushed at the end of the localization. So his word was, please find another actor, and I was very lucky that Rocket Sound and Keith Farley stepped in for me and said, hold on, we already recorded him as a younger sound. Please give him a chance to do it. And I got I got many chances. I had to do about 25 more auditions for them during the month of March 2015. I went in a whole bunch of times, we tweaked it, we got notes, feedback, from Japan. So it was a really intense process, and I was really nervous during that whole thing, thinking like, oh, this could have been it. That was it. I was just the demo voice. But fortunately, I had a great team of people championing me, and I got to work on the game itself. And then we went and re-recorded all of the lines from Dusky, because a lot of them were put into the game, and I felt like I was cleaning it up, because it was all down here. It was like this. And then we do the Noctis voice here, and I just felt like it was so much better, so much more relatable as a character with a cleaner voice. Absolutely.
Dude, let me tell you, there's nothing, no one's earned a character more than already being considered recast and then putting yourself back in there. It's such a hard process, especially once the production has decided that this voice isn't what they want. Their last instinct is to give the actor another chance. A lot of people just assume like, well, that's not what we wanted, we'll find somebody else.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the fact that you had the opportunity and managed to convince them back is a testament to you as a performer.
Thank you, man.
And a testament to Square for being open to that. Most companies would not do that, so I think that's fucking
It's
awesome.
true. It did happen in another game we were in. Fortunately, they still gave me credit. I was in Fallout. I played a big part, and it was just I saw the trailer the day it came out. And it was, oh, it's not me. Bummer. So it doesn't always work out. You don't always get a chance to put your hat in the ring again. So I'm really grateful to Square.
I had that happen with Dishonored 2, actually.
Dishonored 2?
Yeah, Corvo, the
said
male lead character. We recorded all the dialogue for it, and the trailer came out at E3, and I was like,
It's Stephen Russell.
yeah.
Right? Oh my
I
gosh.
guess he's really good friends with the production team, and Wes afterward had lunch with him. He was like, yeah.
It's a hard
They just wanted to
choice.
bring a friend in, and they just had they gave him the direction in the booth. Just sound like this, and they just played my audio.
God.
He's a great actor.
He's
did a
awesome.
phenomenal
Nick
job.
Valentine,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you gonna do? That's just part of the industry.
It's part of it, yeah. Unfortunately, as voice actors, it's really easy to replace us because it's just, you don't see our faces. You don't have to reshoot any scenes or do anything like that. It's just, oh, let's do some more takes. Yay! So that's, then we recorded it for 2 years, and then Square did that wonderful video for us announcing us. That was so nice of them.
That
to
was
do.
really cool.
And then it's just been a crazy ride being able to talk about it. For the first time. It's only been out, we've only been public for like 6 months now.
Yeah.
So it's really nice, really, it's refreshing to be able to not have to refer to it as Project Black all the time. Yeah.
So,
Do you guys have any questions?
yes, raise your hand with a burning question. Anybody? I do it! We'll go with you, sir. We'll go with you. With the suit.
The suit.
So you mentioned that in the past you played all of the Final Fantasy games. Aside from the one that you worked on, did you have a particular favorite among them?
Oh, they were all terrible. Oh, they were all the worst. Yes, it's hard. It's hard to choose because they're all so different. But the ones that stuck out for me are 8. I really enjoyed. I thought the combat. 7's great. What I like is RPG style mechanics that allow you to customize your character classes. So 5 stood out for me. I love the gameplay with that. I love being able to make your character a dual class and you have a lot of customizability. And for that reason, that's why 7 isn't one of my favorites because there's not a whole lot you could do with your characters. I mean, you can put some materia on them, but as far as developing a certain build, you can't really do it. So 8-5 I really liked, and Tactics, of course, because it's the
Oh, yeah.
Tactics is easily one of the best.
Yeah, exactly. But did you listen? Have you heard War of the Lions?
I mean, I played it when it came out.
So did you know Ramza is freaking Phil Lamar?
Phil Lamar, yeah.
It's insane. That's so cool. Phil Lamar from Futurama is Ramza. Never think of him as a JRPG, but he did an amazing
That was
job.
one of those casting bits that blew my mind when I read the credits.
Yeah. They did a really good job with that the War of the Lions remake.
Yeah, dude. No, I lean 6 and 7 to me, but I will admit, I mean, 6 is the far better story, in my opinion. I think it's one of the best stories out there. Like the scope of it, the characters, the world of ruin transition, like the whole Celeste and Terra arc. Like and Kefka, such a delicious villain. I love 6. In fact, Cor in 15, I attribute a lot to Captain Leo from 6. It's a very similar kind of like, you know, super powerful guy that shows up and is awesome and then disappears for the rest of the game. But 7, because I caught that when it came out, and because I was just getting into high school, and when it just probably came out, the game's older than probably some of you in the audience. It was such an important part of my life at the time, and while I know it wasn't the perfect story, it also was so impactful to like elevating the cinematic presentation of what RPGs could be as a storytelling engine. And I don't know, it became a very important game to me. So I acknowledge that it's maybe not the best in the series, but it still had a very big importance to me as a person.
Yeah, you look at that same year, Ocarina of Time came out.
Yeah.
And you go, hold on a second. This 3, because that was back when it was cartridges.
Mm-hmm.
And so you fit Ocarina of Time, an amazing game, one of the greatest games of all time. But you see what they were able to do with the music and the look of it. And then on 3 discs for Final Fantasy VII, now you've got some FMVs that are just incredible, the cutting edge CG, the music sounds amazing, there's just so much of it, the summons, the 3-minute long summon animations, it's just crazy. Well, Square is always at the forefront of that, for sure.
Yeah. I remember we used to call Knights of the Round Knights of the Go Make a Sandwich.
That's excellent.
We timed it. We managed to make a sandwich before the final animation finished.
That's perfect. So we had someone behind Mr. Black Suit.
Yes.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, is it weird hearing yourself talk in a video game when you're playing it?
Is it weird hearing ourselves talk in a video game while playing it?
For me, no. The interesting thing is, what's weird is we record in a dark room with no visuals. And so what's weird is, oh, that's where that line was going. Oh, I was talking to this person. It's so interesting. That's what's weird is like, you have 2 separate memories of what the scene was.
Yeah.
That's for me is the weirdest thing.
You're putting the other half of the context that you wish you had in the booth. For me, it was a little weird at first just because, you know, you see it all put together in a similar way. It's one thing to speak into a void and what you imagine the scenario is and then see the final version. But as performers, we're also instinctually the most harsh critics.
Yeah.
And part of our job is to always improve. So a lot of times we come at it from a critical standpoint, where we'll hear performances and be like, okay, that worked. I like that. I could have done that better. I wish I knew that. Okay, I'll make sure not to do this again. You know, so there is a technical aspect that kicks in as well. So yeah, any sort of like weird, oh, that's me in a game is overridden by the, how could I have done this better? mentality a little bit.
Why do I sound like that? Yeah.
Exactly.
Please, with the metal, yeah.
Ray, your lava stream of Final Fantasy Protocol was one of the most hilarious.
Thank you. Totally impromptu. I had no idea that was going to be such a thing. That was nuts.
How did that come about? Like, did
It was Adam. Adam wanted to talk to me and Robbie about doing conventions. He had his own Matt Mercer sit down like I did years before. He was like, "Please tell me. I just sound lovely. I'd love to. I'm in town." He was filming. He did a lot of his stuff he's from South Africa. He grew up in England, and he spends a lot of his time in Toronto filming stuff. He's done a ton of shows, and now he's done. He says he's done for like a year. And he just wants to go do conventions and stuff. So we sat down for some Thai food, we talked about it, and then we were like, do you want to see the game? Because he's not a gamer, he's never played it or anything like that. And we said, okay. And then the PS4 has that stream, that broadcast button, and we said, all right, let's just try it. Let's see what the heck happens. And it just caught like wildfire. It was nuts. And it was so cool to have, he played along so well, he was so into it, and it was, we apologize for the sound quality, we didn't have a mic or anything like that. But yeah, we want to do some more streams like that in the future with special guests.
Let me know. I remember the next day I was going, my usual morning is like, check email, check Kotaku. That's just like the back of my morning. Not the best publication, but it's a good source of gaming, you know, news and information. And I go ahead and I see your guys' stream show from page, and I was like, yeah!
Thank you. Thank you.
So proud.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on the show.
I'm not coming. That would be ridiculous.
No, that'd be amazing. And we play, for the DLC, that'd be really fun. Yeah, when that comes out. So, yeah, that was it. We definitely want to do more. It is hard to set up equipment for streaming. It is, we tried it a couple nights ago just as a test, and there was no video, and then it was too slow. You have to have an Ethernet cable. There's so much. I don't know how you kids do it. So next week, it should, the 24th, we should be done then. What got us into voice acting is the question. It wasn't a choice for me. It was just kind of, I played trumpet in middle school, and I'm already excited about it. I really enjoyed band. I played trumpet and piano, and I was so into music, and I loved it. And then I had an extra elective free up, and I chose band again. And my mom said, "That's so dumb. Don't do that. You're 12 years old. You need to broaden your horizons." So I took theater just randomly, and I was hooked. It was so cool. So I did theater, and I was always approaching it voice first before I went into any of the acting, the body stuff. I would always approach it for what cool voice can I do for this character. I was always playing old men, even back then, and I had a natural affinity towards voice acting. And then when I went out into the real world, I got a degree in theater, and it just was, here's something I can do without having to worry. I can do from home. And I don't have to worry about, I had frightful, really bad acne right out of college, so an on-camera career was just not up my alley. But being able to do stuff from your home and just being able to hone a skill, I did it for about 5 years before I was able to start really making a living and quit bartending. What about you?
In a similar way, like...
It's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I was planning to become an illustrator most of my life. I most of my young adult, all through high school, was gearing towards becoming a 2D and 3D illustrator, and that was my whole goal. Everyone I knew who was in the industry was like, "Don't be an actor." I was like, "Totally, not a problem." Oops.
Were you in Florida at the time?
Well, by then we moved out to California, and so I've been here at that time, and one day after school, the guy who ran the theater program in my high school, it's my freshman year, just saw this kid drawing in a sketchbook and sat down and was like, "Hi, nice to meet you." And we talked for like half an hour, and he's like, "Why don't you go audition for this show we're doing?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to do it. Acting." I was like, "Come on, I think it'll be fun." I'm like, okay. Went to the audition, didn't book anything, but met a lot of cool people and had a lot of fun actually doing it. So I
was one of those people a person you then met later on in your life?
No, I cut ties with everybody.
You got
I just, the next time they had an audition, I did read for it again, and I ended up booking a role in The Crucible, the classic Arthur Miller play.
Wow.
And that's when I fell in love with theater in a similar way. So I began getting very involved in the theater program and community theater, did a lot of community theater, musical shows, got musicals. And then as time went on, I had the opportunity to consider folding my love of gaming and cartoons that I've had my entire life into the theater arts, and voiceover was an option to do that, but it seemed so impossible to me. It
was like, this will never be a thing. And I had the opportunity, because my father was an audio engineer for a company that did a lot of anime back in the early 2000s, and I got to sit in on a session and just watch. And they were like, hey, why don't you come in and do a couple of guys, heads exploding. I was like, oh, okay. And I got to go in and earn $50 on the side and did a couple of deaths, and I thought that was the coolest thing. It was just enough to whet my appetite, but I didn't consider it, honestly, as a career path for the next 7-8 years. I just dabbled in it here and there.
Wow.
Whenever the opportunity arose, they'd call me in to do more background voices, and I was like, oh man, that'd be cool. Well, I eventually got to the point where I figured, let me give it a shot. Go all in and not live with regret. I'm a big proponent of not living with regret. Try things and fail and move on knowing that at least you gave it your best and you can move on to the next venture. And I've had plenty of those experiences in my life. And so I saved up a lot of money, I quit my job, downsized my whole lifestyle to the bare bones, and hit the pavement really hard. And
In California?
In California. And it was a very long, fraught, arduous process, but eventually the right people I got a chance to meet that believed in me got me in front of the right people, and I began to build a career and stopped having to eat ramen for every meal.
Did you start in anime?
I started in anime, yeah. It was
Was it Bang Zoom or Studiopolis or one of those?
No, this was before. This was Magnitude 8. This was back in 2001. Mag 8 Studios, directed by Kevin Seymour and Joe Ramirez. Some of the early things I worked on were Trigun and Cowboy Bebop.
Wow.
Mary Elizabeth directed me way back then before she knew it was me.
That's
We became
cool.
friends many years later. So yeah, it was a weird circumstance, and I owe a lot of my inspiration to do voiceover on being a nerd, both on as a love of anime, cartoons, and video games, and also many years of playing Dungeons and Dragons, where I kind of honed all my crazy voices and talking to myself in my room a lot.
Great question, thank you. Let's go on this side of the room. We've got a chocobo hat over there. I love it. It's great.
There's a Moogle on the back.
Oh, perfect. Reversible.
Yeah. But if you could play any other Final Fantasy character, either of you, who would you pick?
If you could play any other Final Fantasy character, who'd you pick? Go.
Setzer. I think it'd be really fun. He's so cool. Setzer from Final Fantasy VI. He's got an airship. He's got a tragic love story. He's just, and he throws cards at you. He's just really, really cool. I would do Setzer.
Setzer's pretty
Slick. Yeah.
I mean, I feel instinctually gravitated towards this character, and George Newbern does an amazing job, and I would never ever want that to fall away, even if he had like a terrible accident and couldn't record for it in the remake. But Sephiroth would be a dear love of mine to do. But knowing that was already cast, I was the other character that I would love to have voiced, ironically, Edgar from Final Fantasy VI. And when the auditions went out for the World of Final Fantasy, I was like, oh man, this would be so good. Didn't book it. Shit. Who the? Okay, at least it's Ray.
I'm sorry.
No, dude! I did an amazing job!
Thank you. But Sabin's still out there.
We'll see.
We've got to.
We can be bros.
We got to.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But no, legit, like such a great character, and like it's one of those things where, and this is why the community that perseveres in voiceover is great. Is even if you don't book something, if good people book it, we're happy for each other and we support each other.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of on-camera, not everywhere, but a lot of on-camera is kind of steeped with the sense of competition and this very standoffish, dog-eat-dog mentality. The voiceover community generally steers away from that, I find.
Yeah, and one cool thing about it is the only way you can make a living is by working all the time. And the only way you can work all the time is if you're nice. Because otherwise you won't be, you can book a couple of things, but after a while they'll say, oh man, we gotta get away from this guy. So it works out that everybody who's really doing the voice acting thing is super nice. And so whenever we meet each other, it's just really, really cool. It's an awesome community. I'm so happy to be a part of it.
I will be on your stream though.
Damn it.
I have to call in Jack, I'm sorry.
Oh, Jack is back there. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Hiding behind the
Jack.
chocobo hat.
That is cool.
I was actually wondering, because some of the voices in the movie are different from the game, I was wondering why that was, why they went with different people for the game versus the movie. Like, I know Sean Bean played Regis in the movie, but he's not in the game.
Voice actors aren't capable of acting in movies. We're not good enough. So Square said, oh, we have to get some celebrities to do this for sure. Kinda. It's the sad thing, I think, that's with all movies where you really don't see voice actors do it. It's all on-camera actors, and so I think it comes from that mindset where like we can only make a movie if we have recognizable faces, even though their faces aren't even in the dang thing.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful that Noct wasn't really in the movie, because otherwise there'd be, I don't know, who would play Noctis? Some on-camera guy would do. I'm sure they
Justin Timberlake is
Justin Timberlake, and so I'd be compared to Justin Timberlake all the time. And thankfully I'm not, and neither are you, right? Yeah, not at all.
Not
So
yet.
we lucked out, and it's sad. I think they did a great job. I think Lena, Sean, and Aaron did a great job with it. So that's where it comes from. It's a business, unfortunately.
I think a lot of it too might have been a conversation of like, Sean, let me play this king. He's like, all right, great, I'll do that. I'm like, all right, great. Also for the game, you have this many lines. He goes, I won't do that. That's also a big possibility.
It's a really good impression. That sounds great.
So that or dying. Those are the two Sean Bean impressions.
Yes. Yeah. Let's do Tiffany up here. Hey there.
So, I don't want to spoil the end of 15 for anyone who hasn't beaten it.
Don't spoil it.
So, without getting into specifics, how did you feel about chapter 14 and kind of what happened at the end of the game?
I knew from the beginning, on one of our first days of working on the game, we sat down for about an hour and they explained the entire arc that Noct has, and I thought it was so cool. I thought it was really cool, and I was very excited to play it. And we also had the good fortune of going in order on this game. We had chapters delivered every couple of weeks. We would have a new chapter to do, and we would go in order from start to finish. So that's the best thing as an actor, be able to do stuff in order like that and really play a character arc. Did you know much about did they tell you much about what Cor was going to go through?
No.
No? Wow.
To be fair, Cor doesn't go through a whole lot. He went through a whole lot, and actually we go through that in the DLC. You learn more about his past,
Yes.
which is nice.
Yes.
So I know more now. But initially it was like, okay, you're in a Final Fantasy. That's it? Okay, well yeah. No,
Did they tell you about young Cor, about the other generation?
They did.
They
Like,
did.
they gave me backstory on the kingdom and his history, and then him going into the show of the king type circumstance.
Yes.
And we did have a conversation, partially because I had to pry it out of him.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there's also a lot of actors who aren't as invested in the franchise like we are, want just the skim surface information, and they're used to giving like the bare bones, whatever you're necessary to get in there and start running.
Yeah.
We're fanboys by nature.
We ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they sometimes like it and sometimes don't. They're like, oh, we don't want to be giving out too much information, but I like it. I like being able to know. Dan always said I was very curious. Oh, curious, right? All the time.
I remember we were shooting the announcement videos for the cast.
Yeah.
And they had these questions like, you know, what does Final Fantasy mean to you? Or, you know, which one's your favorite Final Fantasy? And those were all loaded questions. They didn't realize were as loaded as they were, because then it was like, well, Final Fantasy means to me from the heartbreak of childhood, and then like go into this 5-minute rant about like all the facets of my life that it's touched.
Yeah.
And I finished. And he's like, okay, can we do that again, but like 20 seconds? Like, just condense it. I'm like, okay.
That's why they made 3 videos.
Yeah.
There was so much footage of us talking about it, yeah. Another question. I want to go as far in the back as possible, just to get them on the back. Yeah, go for it.
Alright, so this is for the voice of Noctis.
Me. Oh, yeah. That's it.
So in the most recent DLC, the Chronicles thing,
Yes.
Noctis goes to the Square Enix cafe, and he looks at a dish, and he sort of mocks Ignis.
Yes.
Saying that he's come up with a new recipe.
A recipe.
Somebody else.
Oh, what's that?
Was that your idea? Say that one.
Oh, no, it's never our ideas. Actually, I did come up with It's Bench Time. It was, we had something like It's Sitting Time, and I was like, can I do It's Bench Time? Just to do the callback to It's Bedtime from the demo. But it's almost never, we can ever take writing credit. That was from, because in the Japanese version, new recipe is not a big deal. They do not, it's not as much of a meme as it is over here. So for ours, I think he says something like, I should tell Ignis about this, or something like that. But for this, we have a new, for the DLC, one of the 3 people who translated all of FF15 and localized it, Matt Mercer, has stepped up and become the lead on the project. And he has a very he can have a very memey sense of humor, as it were. And so when he saw that opportunity, he said, "Oh great, Ray, can you just try your best, Ignis?" And I was so honored to be able to do that.
Can I just say how glad I am that of all the reads regarding the cup noodle inclusion into the game, they kept your guys'
They kept the ironic one. Yeah. Oh, that was so good. And I can't talk about that, but they're okay. Yeah.
I will say I was excited that I got to actually do one recently.
And you can, okay. So we're talking about the thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Oh man. Okay, this side of the room. Is that an Ignis? Yeah, let's do it.
What's your favorite recipe?
Oh man. Can't wait to try it. Other than toast, which is so good. There's that triple mushroom risotto. I'm way into carbs, so that one's a good one. What about you?
Thinking in Cor's standpoint, he'd probably say toast. Whatever's the most basic, functional, cool.
All about it.
Just more of the toast, please.
That's perfect.
Strong bones.
Yeah, because Cor would never admit to needing more buffs. Yeah. Attack plus 10, that's too much. Yeah.
You're just a cheater. Look, I'm already at the maximum. Any more than that, it's not fair for the rest of the
Cor is way OP. He is a General Leo. I didn't even think about that. Because he joins you for a second, he's way OP, and then he goes away.
But that was my relation at the end of the session, was like, he's totally General Leo, and I'm okay with this.
Hey, you know what? There's that glitch that RNA stays with the party. Is there a glitch where Cor stays with the party?
I don't know. Find it, please.
That'd be really cool.
In fact, get on it.
Or just make it so the best glitch would be that it's just Cor, RNA, and Iris together. You get rid of the four bros and you just see what they do. It'd be really cool.
I would play a game with that composition so fast.
Especially because you didn't record any lines to each other, so it'd just be this silent jaunts through EOS together.
Journey ever.
That'd be really perfect.
I love this plan. All right, let's get
you call him.
Yeah, right here in the front.
Okay, I'm actually an illustration manager over at Cor Lenois.
Oh, very cool.
A lot of times we do projects that have to do with like people we like personally relate to. How do we how are we able to send you guys or get you to see it somehow?
Oh, I'm all about retweeting art. If you send it to me at Ray Chase, I love supporting artists. To me, I feel for you guys. It's hard to get noticed out there. So that, and then fans@raychase.com. You can send me anything.
So there you go. Send all of it to him.
No,
I'm kidding. Same thing. At Matthew Mercer on Twitter. We're on there trying to make sure that we can show the rest of the community the awesome things that you guys produce.
Yeah.
And directly on my website, there's a submission form there that you can send stuff to as well. But
so please submission form.
Yeah, that way my direct email doesn't.
Oh, there you go. I set up a different account.
You're smarter than me.
Yeah. But you just know how to program better.
How often do you guys check your Twitter stuff?
All the time. I can't get enough. It's so
we're
fun.
actors. We're very insecure. We need validation.
Yep. It's really fun. Beard guy over there. Yeah.
So I, probably like with a lot of others, were really bummed out that there was no dub for the Brotherhood anime. Was that ever on the table?
Unfortunately not. It's I think it comes down to that it would cost a lot to do and they're not selling it. So as a business standpoint, it just doesn't make sense for them to put a lot of money that's not something that's not being sold. However, what I want to do at some point, maybe once there's not a whole lot of more FF stuff coming out for 15, I think I want to ask Square to see if we can do a Kickstarter and just do it ourselves with Bang Zoom, who did the dub for Kingsglaive. I think that'd be. I think the fans deserve that.
That'd be good.
For sure. Yeah.
And if that doesn't work out, you could always do like the most accurate fan dub ever.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard though, because Noctis 13, and I don't know.
You got it right there.
Perfect. Oh man. Robbie could play young young husky Prompto. That would be really fun. Yeah, I might have some trouble. We might have to do Hiram. I've never met Hiram. My younger young Noct. I've never met him. I don't know who he is. Maybe one day we'll talk. That'd be fun.
You're not allowed to. If you guys touch, it's like the end of time.
Oh yeah, it's really bad.
Let's see here. I just have to ask real fast. Are you Kevin? That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see. Let's go. You, right there, sir. Yes.
Me?
Yes!
Hey, okay, silly question. If you or your character was stuck on an island for 24 hours with one of the 4 boys, who would you pick?
Oh, variations of this come up a lot, and the answer is always Ignis, because he knows what he's doing. That is absolutely what it is. Noct would complain. Gladio would make you run across the beach for like 2 days, and Prompto would also complain a lot too. Ignis would know what to do. He'd build the campfire, the log cabin. He'd already have cell phone service somehow. He's just amazing.
Yeah, for me personally, it's still Ignis. For Cor, it'd be Prompto, because he's always so concerned about him, making sure he's okay. Like, it's alright, just sit down here. You know? He's not right there. Be just like, buddies on an island.
Can we have anything other than toast?
No.
Follow-up, Prompto?
Yeah, really quick. Question for Noct specifically. If you had to pick between pushing the regalia and eating a can of beans.
I just admire that all these questions have come in character.
Beans, pushing the regalia! I think it would...
Prompto can help you push it.
Great,
Punch,
do it.
but he can try.
Thanks, buddy. Oh, that's crazy. That's awesome.
You pick this one.
Let's do in the back there, the Specky hair.
Yeah.
Cool. So both of you work in the anime industry. For both of you, what are your favorite animes? Give me a already asked. And for Matt Mercer specifically, afterwards, can you call me an old man and Joe Crow's voice?
Sure, no worries.
Do that now. Yeah.
I learned it, sir. I feel like, yeah, good grief. Get out of this panel room, old man.
Nice. Favorite animes? There's a lot. Oh man. I just saw. It's hard to think. Well, I just saw Black Butler. I really enjoyed it, and then I just met Ian Sinclair, who directed it. I thought it was a really impressive dub, considering that they did all the accents very well, which you don't see a whole lot in anime. So I thought that was great. I thought the story of that was just so cool, and everyone was so attractive. I named that one specifically because all the ones that everyone picks, the Cowboy Bebops, everyone loves. I also love Do Rah Rah. That was a really good one too. That was a union dub, and it was you got some really good returning. You got the Steve Blooms and the Kari Walgrens back again, and that was really cool. I like that one a lot.
I mean, growing up, I had a soft spot for the storytelling of the original Evangelion series because it was so different than what a lot of the genre was putting out there, and it broke a lot of storytelling tropes, especially the end of Evangelion, which was just like, oh, you didn't like the end of the series? Let me just tweak your nipples to your screen. That was basically the movie. Curious analogy I chose, but nevertheless, great film.
I understand the scars on your chest now, though.
Yeah, no, see, it's okay. Recently, and completely removed from my involvement in the series, I genuinely love Fate Zero as a series. The animation, the music, the characters, the morally gray across the board between the different protagonists and antagonists, where you're not quite sure who's which.
Yeah.
And the
great job. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I was very happy with that. It was an honor to be a part of it. But it's one of the few series that I've since rewatched twice since we recorded it, just because I genuinely loved the series and wanted to watch it again. So that one stuck with me. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. Good question. Who brought the kazoo?
Oh, there's a parade.
It's the JoJo parade. That makes sense. What?
You said.
What would you say is your favorite flavor of cup noodle?
Yeah, it's the. You mean what our favorite fish, egg, or shrimp? Or do you mean flavor?
Flavor. Is it real wrong?
Yeah.
It is. The new you see that boss cup noodles?
No.
They revealed at the 30th anniversary event that they're coming out with 15 final boss cup noodles based on all the final bosses throughout the series.
Do they taste like the final boss?
I think so. It's
learned a lot about the immersive ARG experience of Final Fantasy 15.
I'm interested in that for sure. But I've always been chicken's fine. The yellow's great.
Chicken.
Yellow is my favorite flavor.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say chicken meat. It sounds so basic, like cream of chicken flavors they've done, which is a little thicker and nicer. At the aforementioned period of time where I was struggling to be an actor in LA, you get really creative with your top ramen and your cup of noodles. So yeah, well, that like the garlic salt container, a little bit of seasoning salt.
You make the ultimate flavor experience.
Yes, and introduce far more sodium into your system than you should have.
Yeah.
And explain so many of my physical ailments these days. Who needs bone marrow? Good question. You pick.
Let's go on this side. I feel like all of you guys have had, no, next to Prompto. Another Prompto? Yes, perfect.
Dual Prompto action.
Did you do a boy impersonation of
Of who?
Prompto?
A Prompto, yeah. Hey, buddy. What is it? Da, 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 da. You doing good, Robbie Damon?
I don't know, Robbie Damon's just kind of up here all the time, you know?
Oh, it's so good.
Let's go on, let's do this. Guys for an adventure.
Hey, man, yeah.
Wait, keep up. Oh, yeah, sure, right there for a second. Sorry.
It's picture time.
By the way, Robbie Damon is one of the most interesting experiences hearing the voice before meeting the person. You would never expect that cross-section. Because he plays naturally very young, bombastic, energetic characters, and he's this tall, built, dark-skinned Native American fellow with a great selection
long
of hats.
hair, yeah. Oh, not long hair anymore. He just got a cut. Yeah, that's right. And he's such a nerd.
Yeah.
He's crazy. You go into his bedroom like I have, and it's just filled with anime stuff. He is very much. He calls himself an undercover nerd, and he very much is. Yeah. You're welcome. Orange in the back.
First, I just wanted to compliment both of you on the New Kingdom art that you both did.
Thank you very much.
And I just wanted to say, do you really relate to your character? Because as Master of Masters, you're basically the biggest badass already.
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to know how do you really relate that to your character or unicorn?
I love unicorns. So yes.
Did you audition for Era? Or did they give it to you?
No, they gave it to me.
Gave it to you, yeah.
Which rarely happens, and I like when that happens.
Yeah.
And let me preface this with the fact that I am a big Kingdom Hearts fan since the very beginning. Dragged in very easily with the taunting of Final Fantasy characters making cameos and desperately trying to beat, what was at the time, Lance Bass's Sephiroth? It was a dark time, we don't like to talk about it. But yeah, so I've always loved the franchise, and as the years go on and you play each one, you also continuously wonder what exactly is happening.
Yeah.
It just gets more and more convoluted and strange in the best way. But I really like the story in the new one. I like that they're finally starting to touch back on kind of the roots of how this all started and those responsible. And my character has a very interesting arc that I'm pretty excited about. So yeah.
Pretty excited about present tense? Is there more? Interesting. Masters is cool because it's the only character I've played so far that's my own voice. There's nothing, I'm doing nothing but just talking into the microphone, and that's weird. I've never done that. My normal voice doesn't really fit into an anime archetype. I'm always putting something on, putting some smoke on, or gravel it down here. But it's cool to just be myself for once. That's I really like doing that one. Yeah. Purple over here?
Yeah, go purple over here.
How do you go about creating your character's voice? How much information do you normally have about the characters and stuff?
Depends on whether it's a video game or anime, for sure.
Yeah. Artwork helps tremendously.
Yeah.
We don't always get it, and a lot of times you, especially for an audition, you just have a very simple breakdown of character traits, general age range, loose texture to the voice, and some background story. And so a lot of it is creating in our own headspace and avoid what we think they would sound like based on that info, which is why it's such a weird amorphous process auditioning for projects. Thankfully, usually when you go in and record for a game, once you've booked it, they'll sit with you for a bit before the session, and they'll what they call dial you in, where you'll try things. You'll try this. That's good. Take it a little lower. Maybe add a little more grit to it. A little more sarcasm, and you just try things out for a while until you dial it into where everyone's happy, and then you go forward. So it's a collaborative process in a lot of cases.
Yeah, definitely. And you usually normally for video games, you're learning all at the same time. A lot of times the director, because there's the director and then there's the game developer. So the game developer knows everything. The director doesn't always know everything too. So you guys are learning off of each other and feeding off of each other and going through the story. And then on a lot of projects, you're able to go back and do the first stuff again. Because usually by the time you finish recording, you go, oh, this was not where we started at all. So that's always really nice. In Final Fantasy, because we had so much time, it was really a luxury to be able to go back and revisit things, especially once they implemented them in game. We were able to say like, oh, this line doesn't play well. So it was so cool to be able to work on a big budget game like that had the means to do that. That was really fun.
Thank you.
Let's see. Let's go. You sir holding your little thing in the air back there. Yes, you.
As Final Fantasy 13 was my first Final Fantasy game, and it's the most universally hated one out there. What is your favorite aspect of it?
My favorite aspect of Final Fantasy 13 is Final Fantasy 13 2 and 3. That's the best. That's actually a good answer.
I think my favorite aspect of Final Fantasy 13 was that it overshadowed the hate for Final Fantasy X2.
I love X2.
So does a lot of people.
I love that game.
I don't know. It wasn't the dress sphere wasn't geared towards me, I guess.
But it was. I love changing classes. It was so good.
The mascot classes were.
Yeah, and that's why I was like the mascot classes, the one where you're like literally dressed up as a Moogle and Chocobo and stuff.
Yeah,
great. 13 had a lot of strong points though. The voice acting was incredible.
Yeah.
And the graphics were amazing, and the music I thought was great. Hamazu did an amazing job.
Yeah.
It was just that the story, it's hard to relate to because it was so abstract. There was some big concepts that just don't hit you the way they should.
That, and for me, a large part of Final Fantasy, at least the heart of it to me, is exploration. And I felt that 13 limited the design of the actual game's direction was so linear. So much of the levels themselves were a path that you followed that looked pretty, but it was kind of just a track in a lot of ways, with a couple little nooks and crannies. So I that to me was difficult to get into from a game standpoint, and partially why 15 I think was so great, because the whole game is built on exploration.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's still comparatively, you're comparing, a really amazing apple against the best apples that exist.
Yeah,
so
that's still really good.
It's still a good apple.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got time for a few more questions, I think. Right?
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
We'll do yellow over here on the side.
For both of you guys, your voice is Saitama, right?
I voice who?
Saitama?
No, I wish. That's
Next
middleman.
middleman, who was supposed to be here.
I'm Pori Prisoner and Dr. Genus.
Well, I guess I'll change mine. For how was it voicing Levi and Noctis?
Levi, that was one of the characters that I was already a fan of before I booked it. So I was super excited to get that character. And to be more current tense, I'm excited that we're getting back to it finally. For the second season. It's been a while.
Yeah, man.
It's been a while.
That's cool.
So I'm pretty stoked. He's a fun character and a nice breath of fresh air in a series that otherwise is constantly bashing in your head with a bleak reality.
And that's the same thing with Noctis, bashing your head with bleak reality. He's part of one of the most tonally sad games for sure, but it's really fun to be able to act those things. There's some real vulnerable scenes in there that I was really happy to be able to be a part of. And he's not very tropey, which was cool. I was able to really craft someone totally new. It doesn't really sound like a whole lot of other anime and video game protagonists out there, I don't think. We'll do one more question. I want to need someone new. Yeah, okay, great. We've got pointing. Yeah, go for it. Oh, 2 more questions. So you, yes, you and another one, and then one behind you. Yeah.
Do you ever get any dubs over subs?
No.
Would we ever?
Do you ever get hate from people who prefer dubs over subs? Wait, subs over dubs?
Subs over dubs, you mean? There you go, that's what I thought. I mean, yeah, but it's all about preference, personally. You know, it's, who am I to take, you know, any heart from somebody who prefers the original work over versus our interpretation? It is an interpretation. We do the best of what we're given, and we are very passionate about what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that stems from the old school world, back when anime first kind of came to the scene, and the dubs were literally pulling in your friends. Be like, we'll get Steve out of accounting, the whole voice the secondary character. And that's how it was for a while. And so it kind of led this whole kind of, this sense that English voices for anime was universally terrible. However, the people that have been doing it for the past 10, 15 years out of Texas, out of Los Angeles, they're taking it very seriously. They're bringing a lot of really talented actors in to do the best they can. And sometimes, to be perfectly honest, the source material isn't that great either.
Yeah.
So we have to really try our best to work with what we're given. And some people will like it, some people won't. And that's just how it is. And I mean, a lot of the original Japanese performers, they're amazing. They do incredible work. And it's really just up to your personal preference and flavor. So yeah, we'll get hate here and there on the internet, but that's what the internet's for, is to give and receive hate, apparently.
And then yes, behind, yeah, go for it.
Hi, Matt. So I know that you voiced Abraham Presley in The Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite dropship interaction with his character and with anyone else?
Oh wow, pulled that one out of left field. I like that. Yeah, no, Abe is a fun one. Abe, I like any of the interactions where it's Abe hitting on a female character in a really terrible way and then shooting him down so wholly. Because it's just inappropriate, and we have so many badass characters in the game that I like the idea that even when he starts getting a little creepy, no one's having any of it.
I always really like the one between Abe and Emmett.
Abe and Emmett's pretty great. One of my favorite conversations in that game is not, and it's not a dropship conversation. There's near a pile of tires in one of the levels. There's just a sack of tires somewhere, and what's the character's name again? The medic character, who's she's the third medic, or the support with the ball cap.
Sunny?
Before Sunny, she has the heal grenades. Anyway, there's a Kyra. There we go. Thank you. I know, there's a lot of characters now. Kyra, who didn't grow up on Earth, sees this pile of tires and goes, what are these things? And Abe's like, are you serious? It's like, no, I'm legitimately serious. I want to know what these are. He goes, they're tires. Do you seriously not know what a tire is? Like, look, I happen to be a person who is not aware of this because I was not born on this planet or understand the circumstance, and you're giving me crap for this. And then just gives her endless crap for the next 3 minutes during the battle. Like, you're fighting the monster and shooting things. He's just like, seriously? Tires? Oh man, I'm not forgetting this. And it rolls on and on. I think you can find the clip on YouTube. It's pretty great.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for your questions, guys. I will still be here for the One Punch panel, so if you want to see more questions about that, stay tuned. Otherwise, where are you going?
I'm going to get food.
Had food yet today. We have at 5 o'clock, I think in this room as well, we have the Critical Role panel. So we have that going on, which will be fun. You should come to that. And me and Marisha.
Laura and Travis are going to Skype in for it.
Oh, we're having Laura and Travis. We're going to Skype into that panel, which will be fun.
Cool.
And then me and Marisha have autographs 7:30 to 9:30 tonight. So
long day for you.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks, guys. Thank you.